This lesson is on the cosine law. It is brought to you by Energized Math. Please visit energizedmath.com at the end of this lesson to download the note. First thing I want to determine is when to use the sine law, or the cosine law. So I want to compare sine law versus cosine law. For the sine law, if I have an opposite pair, angle, length, and another piece of information, I use the sine law. If I don't, I use the cosine law. And there are two scenarios. The first scenario would be a side angle side triangle. So if I have side, then another angle, then a side, then I use the cosine law. Or alternatively, if I have all three sides, side, side, side triangle, then I also won't have an opposite pair, and the cosine law would work. The cosine law is c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. The only letters that really matter, the order you put things in, are the length c and the angle c. They need to be opposite each other. You won't have both those pieces of information, but one of them you'll be trying to find. So for example, in the side angle side, I have side angle side, that's my angle, must be my angle c, in which case that will be my length c that I'm trying to find in the formula. In a scenario where I have three sides, I'm trying to find that angle, which means that will be my length c, my 14 will be my length c. Okay? Again, I do not have an opposite pair, but within opposite pair there'll be one unknown that I'm trying to find. Scenarios, what does the questions look like? The first scenario, let's do a side angle side triangle. So for example, let's say I have 8 feet, I have 12 feet, and I have 80 degrees. Okay, so that means I must be finding my opposite of that 80 degrees. The formula, c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c will apply, and I fill it in. And again, the only things that matter are your angle or your length being opposite each other. So it's going to go x squared equals, and then you put in your 8 and your 12, 8 squared plus 12 squared, the order does not matter for the a's and b's, minus 2, 8 times 12 cos angle c. So you do a little bit of work before you put in your calculator. 8 squared is 64, plus 12 squared is 144, minus, and then you have 2 times 8 times 12 all together. Okay, 8 times 12 is 96, multiplied together is 192, cos 80 degrees. That's all one term. Those three right there are all one term. Treat them all as one term. So I can put everything else into the calculator. So it'll go 64 plus 144, hit equals, that gives me 208. 208 minus 192 cos 80 equals, and it will give me 174. X squared equals 174 point, and it's actually 0.7. But I actually want to find what x is, so I need to take the square root. So take the square root of that 174. 174.7, and that's going to equal 13.2. Okay, and 13.2 feet. That is an example of using side angle side. Okay, and you putting into the formula. The second example is if you have all three sides. So let's use a triangle that goes 6 feet by 12 feet by 8 feet. And let's find angle down here. Now again, the only ones that mattered were the opposite ones. So that's my angle c, that must be my length c in the formula. C squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos, and it's angle c. So 8 squared equals, and it's going to be 6 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 6 times 12, putting your a's and b's in, cos angle x. Again, do a little bit of work on that, so it would be 64 equals 36 plus 144 minus, and it's going to go 144 cos angle x. 2 times 6 is 12, 12 times 12 is 144. Do a little work to get that x by itself, the angle x by itself. So 64 minus 36 minus 144 divided by negative 144 is going to equal your cos x. Putting that into your calculator, you're going to have 64 minus 36 minus 144 equals negative 116 divided by negative 144 equals cos x. Dividing it, I'm going to get 0.80, and it's going to go 56 equals your cos x. That's not your answer. You need to figure the angle out, so you're going to have to use your cos -1 button at that point to determine the angle. So doing that, you're going to go second cos, and you're going to go 0.8056. It equals, and you're going to get 36 degrees equaling your angle x. That is a cosine law. The cosine law is good for when you have all three sides. It's also good for when you have side angle side. Okay, you want to find the opposite length. And again, you use it when you do not have an opposite pair. If you have an opposite pair, you use the sine law. This note was brought to you by EnergizedMath.com. Please visit EnergizedMath.com to download this lesson. Thank you very much.